Last night was mad lit, bro.
Hey, how mad lit?
Auntie, Ma, have you seen my son?
I hate her.
Ah, don't talk like that.
I told you not to bring my dad into this. Why are you bringing him into this?
Don't you dare!
Let me get out of your house now.
There's somebody in the guest house.
Hey!
Mommy, thank God you're here, mommy, please.
Who is this?
This is my sister. This is supposed to be me now.
I definitely don't know you.
Already, people don't be lying now.
I don't know this young man.
Hello beautiful people, welcome to another episode of your favorite movie review show, guys. This is Cineverse with Boluwatife Onyoshu. Now before we go to the movie focus for today, let's just say this is one that made me think, why didn't I watch this movie earlier? Now to find out what title of the film is, don't go anywhere and we'll be right back. Welcome back, guys, and thank you for staying tuned. This is still Cineverse with Boluwatife Onyoshu, and the movie up for review today is titled Breaded Life. Breaded Life is a drama / comedy written and directed by Biodun Stevens and also co-produced by Biodun Stevens, Tara Ajibulu, and Kayode Showade. It's a spin-off of the 2016 romantic comedy Picture Perfect, while some of the original cast from that film were retained in Breaded Life. It follows the adventures of a spoiled and arrogant son from a wealthy home who gets to learn life lessons the hard way. A party-hard bratty son named Sumi, played by Timini Egbuson, who falls in love with the bread seller, played by Bimbo Adeboye. His life before the bread seller is turned upside down as he engages on a warpath with his mother, which, due to a couple of unpredictable instances, turn his life and change the course of it for good. While the film stars Timini Egbuson, Bimbo Adeboye, Bisola Ayola, MC Lively, Jide Kosoko, Tina Umba, Adedimeji Latif, Bolan Lady Nolowo, and a couple of others. Breaded Life is one that is bound to hold your attention from the beginning to the very end. Let's start from the characters. I feel every character in this film played their role exceedingly well, whether it's a small-time role or it's a short-term role or a long-term role. Either way, I feel they all did exceedingly well. Now, starting from the lead characters, let's take a look at Timini Egbuson. Yes, I know he's a good actor, but honestly, this one actually pushes the envelope for him. Because not only do we get to see a character, with the whole from grace to grass, or should I say from riches to poor storyline, but we also see him carrying it so well in tandem with the storyline. Now, this all comes into play when he's playing either the party head or he's playing the bread head. Now, I hope that makes sense to you, but if it doesn't, well, we move on. Let's take a look at Bimbo Adeboye's character, that's the bread seller. Let's just say from top to bottom, her characterization was so much on point. Really looking from her expressions to her reactions, to the dialect, to her actions, the gestures, everything. I feel she was just, I wouldn't say over the top, but I feel she was just perfect. Yes, we've seen her before, in situations like that with characters similar to that in Looking for Bami and The Backup Wife, but this was so different because according to what we heard, she also had to take a voice coach and a dialect coach and all of that, and I would say she did pretty good. And let's take a look at the character of Juguna, played by Adedimeji Latif. Yes, we've seen him, act like this in a couple of other films as well, but I like this one because it was not overflogged and, it was not drawn out and whatnot. One major thing I liked about this movie was that even though it was in a cinema and you're supposed to, keep quiet, but we just couldn't keep quiet. We were having too much fun and too much. The humor was just all encompassing. We were finding ways to, be like, nah, but it was just pretty good. And I'll be lying if I say I wasn't feeling pretty good when I saw the character of Bolan Lady Nolowo again, popularly known as Jobe. I like that his character was somehow intertwined in this film, although it wasn't really drawn out and it was just, a short part of the film, but I did like it either way. Though I would have loved to know how old Tina was by now. And I will say Tina Mba played the role of a fed-up mother pretty well. And at this point, talking about MC Lively and Funny Bone, at one part I would have loved to say, oh yes, they were the comic relief in the film, but let's just be honest, they did pretty good, but the movie itself also carried its own weight. Alright, now I know I talked about the characters first instead of the plot, but I was so excited about them. Anyways, moving back to the plot of the film, or should I say the movie, we've seen a lot of movies where, you know, the rich person becomes a poor person, or, you know, the popular person becomes unpopular and whatnot. But I like the fact that although it's almost the same here, it's actually told in a different way entirely. Because let me tell you now from the very beginning, with no spoilers, of course, let's just say this movie is so unpredictable. It did not really go exactly the way I thought it would. It did not go the way I predicted it would, which is the good thing about it. I did not see a lot of things coming, especially towards the end. So I will say it was written in a pretty unique way that I am sure a lot of people would like. That's if you're tired of, you know, seeing a lot of cliches and all of that. Number two, I like that the extra characters, or should I say, the other characters were not, the use were not, you know, drawn out. We knew when some people came in for the comic relief and the parts were over. When it got to serious parts, we got them. When it got to places that, you know, the inciting incident, a lot of things, we got everything at different points in time, and they were not drawn out to the point we start, you know, feeling like, oh, I think it's about time they move away from this scene, or I think it's about time this character should be expired, or something like that. So I feel everything came together, and let's just say it was not a boring affair at all. And another thing I'm noticing about this movie is that we didn't have much of one than the other, because yes, we know it had comedy in it, but it was not like the comedy was way more than you know, the crux of the story, the drama in it. I feel it was perfectly blended or perfectly balanced out. And another thing you could tell about the movie, especially the cast right now, talking about the main characters, that's Timini and Bimbo, you could see they had some sort of camaraderie going on between the two of them. They had chemistry. It was just flowing seamlessly. And the movie all through, what the comic parts, the angry parts, you know, the parts where you laugh, the parts where you're serious, all the reactions and everything just flowed well together. I didn't see any forced reaction, whether between the main cast or any of the cast in the film. There weren't any really forced reactions at any point in time. And another thing I want to talk about is the dialogue. You know, I'm particular about dialogue, and I will say this was artfully done, because we had not just Yoruba, we had English, we had Pidgin, and yes, we had Yoruba that was said in not so much straight Yoruba, but they were able to, you know, piece it together in a way that it just retained its originality. Yes, it was able to retain a lot of originality. So yes, I like the way it all blended everything. Let's just say the movie is a really good one. I'm still saying I do not know why I didn't watch this movie before, but it was a really good one. The only thing that I felt could have been worked on a bit was you know, we get to see this character Sumi that's played by Timini as a very, you know, is very it lacks should I say forethought, or should I say yes, forethought. He partied too much. He had a lot of things going on that were on the negative, but we never got to see a backstory as to why he was the way he was. We didn't know if he was just, you know, like that, or he had he had so much angst within him and we didn't know why, but we just knew he was the way he was. So yes, I feel that could have that was the only thing I felt could have been, you know, done or added or, you know, fleshed out. But other than that, I feel pretty good about this movie. I like it a lot, and yes, I would say I would probably recommend it to anyone who just wants to relax, have a good time with friends. And yes, I will watch this movie more than once if I'm allowed to, or if I'm able to afford that time. I won't watch it more than once, probably twice or thrice, or whenever I just feel like I want to have a good laugh or laugh at my problems. And yes, I am going straight to the rating. I'm trying not to take so much time today, but I'm going straight to the rating. And on a scale of 1 to 10, drum roll please. Okay, yes, I'm waiting for the drum roll. But on a scale of 1 to 10, based on the genre that this movie is, I will be giving this movie a 9. Yes, I know, big whoop, but honestly, it did really good. Some people might be wondering how. Well, for you to wonder how, you need to watch it and understand what I'm talking about. So yes, I am leaving it at 9 over 10. Alright guys, that's about it today on Cineverse. Thank you for joining in. Let's know what you think in the comment section. If you think I was right in my assessment, let's know. If you think I'm not, let's know as well. And if you think there's something I missed or could have been added, please let us know in the comment section. You can do that on Instagram at CameraBoy.tv, Facebook at CameraBoy Official, Twitter at CameraBoyTVNG, and also like and subscribe to our videos on YouTube at CameraBoy TV. And you can also hit me up on Instagram at WhatsApp_ONI, simply on Facebook and Twitter, guys. Until I come here next time, this has been Cineverse, and I remain your host with the most, Boluwatife Oniyosun. Peace out.
Mommy.
Bye, bye, what do you? Tell about your job.
My name is Sumi.
What if you're wrong? Oh, Jerry. What's your man, Jerry? And you know my share by no shake the lack of a pipe for me.
I'm going to have to find a way to survive on the streets on my own. Twale.
Are you a Tupac?
Oba mi ba jugunu sọ̀rọ̀ nípa ẹ̀.
Àwọn gbàgbé mi ṣe sọ fún ẹ bó ṣe wà yẹn tí wọ́n bá ṣe nǹkan tó jẹ́ kó ṣe èmi lè ní kó sáré tẹná ọgbọ́n mọ́ lójú bí mo ṣe wà yìí no stealing ṣọ́rọ̀ mi yí ẹ.
Èrò kò sí nǹkan kan tí kinní abẹ́ tó bá dìre eré máa pàdé kó padà lọ síbi tó ti ń bọ̀.